knows?
Melissa Mallett, 7 News.
Up to 6 cyclones could menace Queensland this summer, with at least 2 crossing the coast. That's the latest forecast from the Weather Bureau as the first storms of the season arrive.
The Strand put on a dramatic lightning show as the first storms arrived on Saturday. They brought the first decent rain in 6 months to Townsville, but the city was spared any major damage. Further southwest at Charters Towers, the storms were more severe.
The thunderstorm front was probably about 30 to 40 kilometres long as we're up on Towers Hill.
We saw hail, we saw strong winds to the extent where they were damaging wind gusts, and we saw some pretty heavy rain.
Travis Robertson and Chris Nitsopoulos are local storm chasers.
They were the first storms of the season, so they always look a little worse than they are.
But the worst is still to come. Today, the Weather Bureau issued its latest cyclone outlook for this summer. The La Nina system is weaker than last year and won't be as dramatic, but there will still be more cyclones than usual.
So normally you'd expect about 4. So given that there's 65% chance more, you wouldn't be surprised if you might find 5 or 6, and maybe one of those statistically will cross the coast, maybe 2.
But it's impossible to predict just where they'll hit and which communities could face destruction.
They're probably the most erratic of all weather phenomena. So that's one of those things, a little bit like severe thunderstorm warnings, where until you see the whites of the eyes, you don't really have a clue where they're going to go.
The Weather Bureau will rely much more on amateur weather watchers in the north this year. It's put out a call for more to join the Storm Spotter network. Already, it's having a positive effect.
Yeah, definitely. Now that we've started calling them in with severe weather reports and stuff, they're obviously going to start taking notice of us more.
And we're finding that we can communicate a lot easier with the Bureau, and they're actually listening to us now and taking heed of some of the readings that we do get.
Power's been restored to 2,500 residents in Townsville's northern beach suburbs after storms this morning. There are now just 2 weeks until the official cyclone season starts.
So it's best to be vigilant and assume the worst every time.
Melissa Mallett, 7 News.
And of course, Livio will join us with all today's latest weather details a little later in the bulletin.
More fires broke out across the